Hey guys, this is Ali and Emerson from Alta Racks. This is assembly one for all our vertical racks, GPR, Superior, and also the Solo. So anything that has a hitch and a vertical beam, this is it. So Emerson, tell us about the tools that we're gonna need for assembling this rack.
So for tools, you're gonna want a 15/16, a 3/4, and a 9/16 socket and wrench to put all the bolts on. This little 7/16 is also for the jam nuts that are going to go on the latch, and then in your hardware bag is going to come with this little Allen key. That's also going to be for the screws on the latch.
Got it. All right, so once we get the vertical post, you can see this is the new post. It has the next gen bushing. It also has the new OSP protection plate on rather than the chainstay tape, and we wanted to make sure we do a new video on this. The current vertical post, or the main beam, has 5 holes on the bottom, right? And then we got 5 holes on top with the 4 on the front. The flare right there, the tie down, or that's where you hang a hammock, can change from different versions, but don't worry, you're gonna always point that up no matter what the version is, and then the AR sticker always up. So what's the first step, Emerson?
So the first step is obviously to take everything out of the box and make sure you got your parts. All the boxes are going to come with packing slips, so make sure you count everything, make sure you got everything. If not, you can always reach out to us and we'll get some out to you. Your hitch is going to come as pre-assembled like this with your internal and external on. So first thing you want to do is just undo this tensioner bolt up here. So that's going to help us put this main beam on. There's a little spiral to protect the main beam for when we lower it down. So you want to take that off, put it to the side, and you're going to flip your hitch upside down. Next thing you want to do is you're going to take your main beam and make sure the flare is pointing up to the sky. You're just going to line it up with these holes in the bottom. Make sure you go get these next gen bushings in the grooves on these plastic parts here. That way it lines up nice and easy.
And we've pre-installed this, that's why it's a little tight here, because once you tension it, it wants to form that steel and get it tight. So you're not gonna have this tightness in the first assembly, but if you were reassembling it, then you would have this tightness. So you can see Emerson got those bushings into the groove on the poly plates right there. And that way you can run the bolt, the 1/2-inch bolt right there.
This is gonna be your 1/2-inch bolt. It's gonna have smaller bushings that are going to go inside the bigger ones on the main beam. So you're just going to want to line the hole up and then try and wiggle the main beam around so you can get that bushing nice and flat. Take the other bushing, slide it in with the flange on the outside. I'm going to slide that in and then squeeze the bolt so both the bushings are nice and tight, and then you can go in and tighten up. This is going to require your 3/4 wrench. So you're going to take that and tighten everything up.
Okay, once we tighten that, and that's what we call the pivot bolt, because the vertical post pivots on it. Once we tighten that, what do we do next?
Next thing you want to do is flip this around. So now your hitch is going to be standing straight up. And you're going to put your OSP in to kind of keep it in place. Just going to slide that in.
And that's going to slide right on that plate. As you can see, that plate is designed to interface to that OSP.
And we can go in and
auto safety pin.
And go in and put this tensioner bolt back on.
Tensioner bolt.
When you put this in, you want to put the bolt in first, then through the spiral, then through the welded nut that's on the other side. This you're going to keep loose for now because we're going to tighten it later in the video when you're finally done assembling everything.
Okay.
Next thing is going to be the latch. So you're going to make sure these screws are all the way out, just to make sure you have good spacing. On the bottom you can kind of see them poking through, so we're just going to pull those all the way out. This helps you align the latch so you have actual clearance to engage the latch, because if you have them all the way against the main beam, then the latch won't engage and then you won't be able to close the rack.
And so what he means by engaging is against that square bar right there, as you can see. So the latch is always going to be the lowest holes. That's the setup. So your first hole on the bottom always is going to be the latch. So he's just going to throw some bolts in, and then everything you like with the latch, we're gonna tighten it and set that distance, But know if you're running a superior rack and you're gonna put the gussets in, you may have to loosen that latch, which is fine. You wanna go through this process no matter what. So video 1, that's why it's for everybody. No matter which rack you purchase, the main body, the general purpose rack is there for you. And that's the setup. So he's setting up the latch. Next, we're gonna set the distance for it to engage, basically. You're gonna turn these holes until this latch engages. This one's already engaged, as you can see, because we had it preset. But if this latch wasn't completely closed like this, or it was pulled up open, you want to push that whole system out until that latch basically snaps and goes ding, and it's in.
Once you get that good distance in between the latch and that bar on the screws, there's these jam nuts. You're just gonna use your 7/16 wrench and kind of make these little snugs, just so the latch doesn't come loose at all and separate anymore.
So he set the distance on the latch, got the offset set up so it's pushing against from the inside, and then he jam nutted the offset. That's the step 1. You basically now have a basic structure of the rack with the hitch, the main beam, and the latch. You have the OSP in, you have the tensioner bolted on, and you have the pivot bolt. That's your step 1. From here it goes to step 2, and that has to do with the specifics of which rack you use. And this is basically step 1 assembly of the GPR rack with Emerson and Ali at Alta Racks. Have a great day, y'all.